What's up, everybody? Welcome to Narco Cop MMA. This is the Lambo Plays podcast, episode 21, UFC Vegas 51. Pretty good card. We got a nice main event in Luque, Muhammad. Last week we hit some monster plays on the show at plus 2,800, a plus 1,800, and a plus 375. It was a great week for the Lambo Plays parlay, along with a parlay that I hit that paid a pretty big number, $20 to win 1,800. It was a very good week. I'm going to go over to chat, and there is a lot of people in here today early. I like it. Mushroom, per usual, is in the house. Daz, Papa Chuck, Monk MMA is in here. Nanadol is in here. Brady, my buddy Brady, is in the house. Yeah, I mean, bunch of my wife is in the house along with my son, and Big J is in the house. Yeah, let me bring in my guests. First off, I am going to bring in my co-host, none other than Timothy Troiano. What's up, Tim? How you doing? Are you ready for this card?
Oh, yeah, very excited. How about you, man? Do you think this is a good betting opportunity to get some money back from last week? I know you killed it last week, but I got beat last week.
Yeah, I mean, in my track plays, I didn't do very well. I was down 4 units, but I was up a lot of units because I hit that Lambo parlay.
Lambos all day.
And I hit a bunch of big long shot props. So, yeah, it was a very good week. Yeah, looking to keep it up this week and see what happens. But without further ado, let me bring in one of our guests here. It is none other than the ass shaver himself, Uncle Weezy. What is up, Uncle Weezy? How you doing? Are you ready for this card?
I'm ready for this card, man. I've been talking about it all week on YouTube. I'm getting my Lambo plays together, man. I am putting together the Lambo parlay as we speak. I got a greasy 4-legger that's going to be available for insurance on FanDuel. Can't wait to share it with you guys at the end of the show. And I'm looking to hit some big spots this week. I've looked into these cards. I've went through my prop templates, combed through all the numbers. I ain't playing around this week, you guys. Let's get some money.
I love it. I love it. The man is going to do some ass shaving on the Lambo Plays podcast this week. Yeah, let me bring in my other guest here. He's going to make his inaugural debut on my show. It is none other than Lou Betcha. What's up, Lou? Are you ready for this card?
I was literally born to be on this show the way I bet. I am so excited. I'm glad to hang out with you guys. Like, really cool to do something with Wheezy. Like, we work together all the time. But, yeah, I found some spots in this card that are insane. And what better way to spend your Saturday at 5:30 p.m. because that's the start time, of course.
Yeah, well, you're gonna
Eastern.
You're gonna fit right in with me and Tim because all we do is bet those big long shots. I'm gonna go quickly. My buddy Chad is in the house. What is up, Chad? And my other brother, it is Marcus Erickson, the sharp NFL guru right there. What's up, Marcus? But yeah, guys, 14 damn fights. We got to get to it. Let's go right along. It's first fight of the night. It's Haley Alatang going up against Kevin Croom. What do you have here, Tim? Kick us off.
Okay, yeah, I've got a Kevin Croom by subline at plus 1,100. I just think he's bigger, and I think that Alatang might go for some takedowns and put himself in some awkward positions, compromising positions. And Croom is definitely one to go for subs. And you're giving me 11-1 on something that's I think is I would bet it probably 5-1 to be honest. So it's a really good line. I don't mind the points as well, but I'll leave that one to you guys. But I like the sub on Croom this one.
All right, submission Kevin Croom. What is it? Plus 1,100, you said?
Yeah, on FanDuel.
Pretty solid line. Uncle Weezy, what do you got here?
So I'm going to give you the bare minimum that I have to give you on the Lambo Plays show. Kevin Croom by points plus 300 on FanDuel right now. You know how I see Croom winning this fight if he were to win it is using that size, using the length, and using the fact that he throws a ton more volume than his opponents do. And when we look at the numbers for Alatang, he throws a lot less volume than his opponents do. Alatang low volume, Croom high volume, and he's going to be able to hit Alatang when Alatang can't hit him. I think Alatang hunting for that one big knockout shot is going to hurt him here. I also think that him not going to his wrestling as often as he should, if he doesn't do that here, I really do think Croom's going to win this by decision. And at plus 300, I think it's a pretty decent bet. I think it's Croom's path.
Yeah, not bad at all.
If you like that, then I won't steal it. I'll steal it. I'll wait.
Tim,
I'll wait.
stay in your lane, Tim. Stay in your lane. So Uncle Weezy goes with the Croom decision at plus 300. Lou, what do you got here?
I'm glad Tim didn't talk because I bet he's going to say exactly what I'm about to say next. Well, if you like Croom by decision, I like him a little better at split decision at plus 1,200. I mean, look, you have a reluctant wrestler who has a clear path here, like because Croom's takedown defense is the same as mine in the UFC, 0, or it's 2. It's barely higher than mine. Croom should be able to jab his way to success. But if Alatang does go the takedown route and does nothing, Croom's very active off his back. So then it becomes, well, how are you judging this? We've seen judges aren't so willing to give you a round for just delay and pray anymore. I wonder if Croom can, maybe he can steal a round off his back from one or two guys. We all seem to agree that Croom is the side here, strangely enough. So the split at plus 1,200, these are DraftKings lines, by the way. That's what I'm going off. I mean, what a way to start off this card. Nothing better than a split decision to start us off.
Yeah, Croom by split at plus 1,200. I have the same exact bet here. I got the I took Alatang also at plus 850.
Yep.
Because one thing I don't trust with Croom is his cardio, and cardio I think is gonna come into play here because the dude is dropping down to 135. This guy is going to be a huge 135 pounder. I mean, the guy's 5'11", 73-inch reach at 135 pounds. And, he's fighting a guy where he has a 7.5-inch reach advantage, a huge 6-inch reach height advantage. And you saw him at face-offs. I mean, much bigger guy. The problem with Croom I have here is I doubt this guy keeps it at range because he's a wild man. He's not a technician on the feet. That's where I have an issue with the guy. And Alatang honestly has a clear path, like you mentioned, if he decides to wrestle, right? Early on, his first 2 UFC fights, he wrestled. He had 7 takedowns. His next 2, nothing. I think he went for 1 freaking takedown against Gustavo Lopez. And I just don't understand. The guy has good wrestling. And if he uses it here, like you said, like he can get Croom down pretty easily. But the thing is, he likes to stay on the feet. He likes to trade. He has power. He has a good chin. I just think, the way he fights, it's like he fights kind of close, right? He fought against Benoit, split decision. Fought early in his career, he had another split decision. And it's just the way he fights. He's looking for a big shot, and people with volume are just going to out-volume him and make it close. So, yeah, I mean, split decision plus 1,200, plus 850. You cannot overlook the Alatang side because it's very live as well, especially if you like split. So, going both ways, plus 1,200, plus 850 will be my Lambo play for this fight. Moving on, fight number 2, it is Sam Hughes going up against Estela Nunez. We will kick this one off to Uncle Weezy. What do you got here?
Okay, so this is an easy one for me. I'm going draw here, okay? This is a fight that's most likely going to go to decision. We've got a cheater in Estela Nunez who grabbed the cage like 4 times out there against Ariane Carnelosi, trying to stop from being taken down. And Sam Hughes isn't a great wrestler either. So I could just see this getting dirty. I could see there being eye pokes. I could see there being a point taken away for a fence grab. I could even potentially see a 10-8 round. But this draw sitting at plus 6,600, it feels like it should be about minus 150. I don't know how this line hasn't moved yet. the draw is like a virtual lock this week.
So Uncle Wheezy going with his ever so popular draw here. Lou, you cannot top that. So give us what you got for this fight.
I can't top that. And like, it's crazy because I have a draw pick for later. I can't top that. I have this fight to end in round 3 at plus 950. Don't care who wins. I hate the bet, in all fairness. So Nunez, you know, she lost to Carnelosi, like huge layoff. Like, I get it. Like, it's not going to be repeated, but the only reason I can justify this bet is Sammy Hughes. I don't know how she has a 4th fight in the UFC. I got to think when this fight goes to the 3rd, her coach is going to be like, do you want to get fired? Because like, you're getting fired. And she apparently has a path to takedown. She hasn't shown it yet. She's supposed to be a pressure fighter. She hasn't shown too much of that. So I'm just hoping it's balls to the wall in the 3rd at plus 950. And then you can just root for chaos. But I can't top Wheezy. So I'm just, you know, if I lose mine, I'm like, yes, draw, please.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Estela Nunez here, man. I never do this in general, and then I'm doing it on women's MMA, but I laid the minus 210 on her here straight. That's how much I like her in this spot, just because I do not like Sam Hughes whatsoever. She does not grapple well. She has 0 takedowns in the UFC in 3 fights. Estela Nunez actually showed pretty good takedown defense against the girl in Carnelosi, who's extremely strong. You know, and high pressure from her the entire fight. I mean, eventually, yeah, she got the rear naked choke in the 3rd, but she was showing good takedown defense. Even when she was taken down, she was showing good get-ups. And even on the regional scene, she shows good takedown defense and good get-ups. Hughes just doesn't have it to get this fight to the ground, and if she does, she's not going to keep her down. And on the feet, to me, it's a complete mismatch, man. Like, this girl Nunez is a 2-time world champion in Muay Thai. Like, the girl can strike. She has nasty knees up the middle. Her striking, she has power in her hands. Like, honestly, Sam Hughes, I think, is screwed here. I like Nunez by KO at plus 550. I'm going to just keep it plain and simple. I think she's going to knock out Sam Hughes here. Tim, what do you got?
Yeah, you know what? I don't mind that at all, because mine is not a Lambo play. I think more I kind of lean like 80-20 that she wins by points, and I did have a bet on her by points at, I think I got it like plus 130. It's like around plus 105 or something like that on FanDuel, I think now. But I'm going to go with you on this one. I'm going to go with Nunez KO, and I don't mind like attritional damage kind of KO 2-3-ish, you know? So I don't know what the line is on FanDuel. I was just trying to find it. What
are you looking for?
KO 2-3 is plus 950. Yeah, so plus 500 for the KO. I don't mind that. And then I also like the plus 950 on KO 2-3. If you want to get greasy, you go KO 3.
Don't mind it. I just think she's going to absolutely tear her apart on the feet. But the only thing, one thing that made me pause is the fact that Nunez sometimes just is like picking her shots too often, like trying to land like one perfect shot. Because I think if she just throws, like she's so much better than
like I think it's a good, like, honestly, I think it's 80-20 or 75-25 that she wins by decision, but you're giving a good line, you're getting some good lines there. So, and I mean the bet on plus, like if you're on Nunez, I mean really like the plus 100, anything plus money on her winning by points, I think is good.
Yeah, I mean I do think she wins by decision most likely, but I wouldn't be surprised if she knocks her out. That's right. Why I took that plus 550. But moving on, fight number 3, it is Trey Ogden going up against Jordan Levitt. You can kick this one off, Lou. What do you got here?
So I debated this a little bit this week because Levitt made me money last time against Matt Sales, but I realized that everything I bet on that fight was a red flag on Sales, not like pro Levitt. I went back and watched it. I like everything I see with Ogden. I'm going Ogden round 3 at plus 1,300. I don't want to pick a winning condition. I know he's coached by everybody's internet darling right now, James Krause. Even in Levitt's last win, it wasn't like he was spamming takedowns. He just kind of fell into them both rounds. He wasn't like his path is clear. It's just go for takedowns against a guy who hasn't fought in years. He didn't do it. I think Ogden's okay on the ground. He has a clear striking advantage. But I have questions about Levitt's cardio from the, sorry, Wheezy, I'm not going to say it right like the way you do. The Puelis. Wheezy will say it right. I just have a problem with Levitt's cardio, and I think Ogden seems strong. The longer this fight goes, the more it's in Ogden's favor. I have concerns that Ogden's been submitted a few times, but I think as the fight goes on, Levitt is just going to fade and fade and fade. Ogden round 3 at plus 1,300 is not a horrible bet, because if he gets to the third, Levitt's going to have nothing at this point with just all the attempts at wrestling. Like, that's, even though he bet on himself on Bet MMA Tips, I got to fade him here.
Yeah, so, you know, I actually like Ogden's game. It's not terrible. His stand-up is okay, but to me, it's much better than Jordan Levitt's. You know, he has good takedowns, good double legs. He's shown on the regional scene. I think he's a BJJ black belt, actually, and I think he's got that within the last, like, couple of years, if I'm not mistaken. It hasn't been that long. I think he's shown a decent ground game. Like, his ground game is not bad. Like, should he tangle up with Jordan Levitt on the ground? Probably not, because that's not the least path of resistance. But I do think he can kind of stay safe if he gets on top of Jordan Levitt. You know, against Okanovich, he kind of got into a pretty deep armbar where it was a little scary, but he managed to get out of it and eventually submit Okanovich in that regional fight in Fury FC. But yeah, you know, for me, honestly, like, on the feet, it's so wide because Jordan Levitt clearly does not look comfortable on the feet. He's just a terrible striker. Defensively, he's not very good. He's shelling up a lot. I like Ogden KO, man. Plus 800 is way too wide for me here. I know the guy hasn't shown KOs on his, you know, on his record, because most of his wins are just submissions and decision. But, like, the edge here is just so big, and even ground and pound. Like, this guy has some pretty good ground and pound. So, Ogden KO plus 800, I think, is the play I'm gonna have here. Tim, what do you got?
Man, I love violence bets, so I'm probably gonna have to tell you guys at least a little bit on those. I have no money on this fight, so I don't want to really say anything confidently, because, I mean, realistically, this fight could go a bunch of different ways. I could see Levitt subbing him in the first round. I could see him maybe subbing him early in the second round, but probably like 7 minutes for a sub from Levitt. And then I could see a bunch of things different. Like, I could see him Clark grinding him down, Ogden working him around and just, like, grinding him down and winning a decision. That's kind of what I see happening most, like, that he just holds him on the ground and doesn't really overexert himself and kind of defensively does what he needs to do, and or stays on the feet and just, you know, pieces him up on the feet each round. Because literally, I mean, like, I can't think of a worse striker than Jordan Levitt. I really can't. Like, he's one of the worst strikers I've ever seen, and that's like a compliment to him, because it's an achievement. So yeah, I'm gonna go with points. It's not a Lambo. It's Ogden by points at plus 260, but it's kind of the outcome I think happens the most. I don't mind people that are trying shots on some early Levitt subs, but yeah, I'll definitely be tailing you guys lightly on those. I like those bets too.
All right, it is Ogden by points. Uncle Weezy, what do you got?
So I'm going to go with Jordan Levitt by his best win condition, which is going to be the first round submission at plus 850. Levitt has 5 first-round finishes and 2 second-round finishes, and every time Trey Ogden's been finished, it's been in the first round, and it's been by submission. So, you know, just getting that at plus 850, I think it's a great way to play this one. I mean, if Levitt does win this fight, and face it, the bookies are giving him, what, a 45% chance to win this fight? He's probably not going the full 3 rounds with a dude from Glory. You know, all those Glory guys, they got that saying, like, at 5:01, you know, we start to put it on your fucking ass. I don't know how it goes, but basically they're saying, like, once that second round starts, we get better, they get worse, and we turn it on. And, you know, I think that if this gets past the first round, it's going to be all Ogden. So I think Levitt first round submission plus 850, that's the play.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have a bet on that play because I have 3 units on Ogden at minus
Great.
110. I got in very early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I took that as kind of like a hedge on the Levitt side. So, yeah, moving
Can
on.
your hedge make more money? Sometimes my hedges make me more money than the actual bet, and I find myself rooting against myself.
Probably not. Probably not. I'd rather have my 3-unit win. It's gonna make me a little more money. But yeah, moving on. It is a banger. It is fight number 4. Chris Barnett going up against Martin Buday, and I can kick this one off. I see a line here that kind of surprised me, and it's the Buday submission. It's plus 550, and to be honest, I don't get it. Like Buday, this guy's a Dana White Contender Series guy, person, and these Dana White Contender Series guys, I did a ton of tape because of my show, and I know this guy. This guy's a two-time IBJJF European champion in jiu-jitsu. He's a brown belt. He's a much bigger guy here. I mean, if you look at these guys at face-offs, it's fucking incredible. I mean, it really looks like it's funny just looking at these two guys because this guy's a huge heavyweight. And then you've got Barnett, who's like, 5'9", and probably not even 5'9", but the guy is 260 pounds at 5'9". It's just, if Buday wants takedowns, I think he's going to get him here against Barnett. Barnett was taken down pretty easily against, who was it, his last fight? Or 2 fights ago when he got subbed. I can't even remember the guy's name.
Rothwell.
Yeah. So Rothwell kind of just like bullied him down in that takedown, and eventually just like gave him that 10-finger choke and got him out of there. But dude, the guy is just Barnett on the ground does not look good, and Buday on top is a monster. I mean, he's huge. How the hell is Barnett gonna get out of being under this guy? And it's just the size matters here, man. And this guy's a monster. He's way better grappler. And you're gonna give me, plus 550 here. I'm gonna take it. Like, I know Buday has a ton of knockouts and not many submissions, but listen, it's style makes fights. And why would he just stand with Barnett when he could just take him down and just do whatever he wants with him? So give me the Buday submission plus 550 here. I think that line is completely off. Sorry, Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm going to echo a lot of the things that you just said. The only thing that I would add is I'm on the sub prop as well, and I like this sub 2-3 at plus 1,500. So I'll do the sub plus 550 and sub 2-3 at plus 1,500. But the thing that I would say is, like, the KO is so possible as well. And when you look at lines that, like, if you like to, somebody to win by, like, you just don't know, like, say Luque as well later on, like betting the inside the distance prop and then having the hedge be obviously on the wider line when they're giving you something like 5.5 to 1 versus like plus 130. Like, just, you have to bet that. Like, you just have to bet the inside the distance prop and don't get greedy on the lighter prop or the lighter line. And just it's such a profitable way to bet. Just do it that way. It's a really good way to go inside the distance with Buday and then hit the sub lines however you want to hit them. That's what I've done for this fight.
All right. Uncle Wheezy, give us something here.
So you guys, I mean, that Martin Buday is Uncle Wheezy's ass shaving of the week, and that we've been on a heater now for a couple of months here. So, I'm looking for Buday to go in there and kick the shit out of this dude. And I love Barnett. I really do. He's such an entertaining guy. I love to watch him dance. And if you bet Buday and you lose and like he gets knocked out, you're going to get to see this guy dance, and at least that'll cheer you up. But you got to bet Buday here. And I think that this is going to be just an attritional type of thing. The size, the thing about Buday is, this is still kind of a step up in competition for him, Chris Barnett. This will be the most experienced guy he's faced with the most wins, who's got the best wins, so far at least. So let's wait to the second round and say Martin Buday round 2 plus 500 here. I that's why I go before Lou, because but I think that's even in the MMA engine, group round robin that we do. I got Buday round 2, man. I think that's when he gets it done.
Don't mind it. Barnett is a tough guy, so not easy to get out of there. Oh, Lou, what do you got?
Well, I got nothing now. You guys all like took my, all things. What's funny is I gave on the show a couple hours ago, I literally gave out Buday round 2 submission. It's plus 2,200.
Wow.
I mean, all the same reasons you guys said. I just want to say that I have a real life friend named Martin Buday. I know it's such a strange name. So as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I'm betting Martino, like I have to. Just echo the reasons you guys. I think this plays out similar to the Rothwell fight. I'm not comparing Buday's talent, but it's like with Barnett, you got to kind of be careful the first couple of minutes. You know the spins attacks are coming. You got to watch like the crazy stuff, and then I think Buday could just grind him against the cage for a couple of minutes, and then eventually get him out of there. So I don't hate what any of you guys have said. I love the sub prop. And I love the round 2, round 3 prop. I think it goes past the first round. I can't give away that bet because it's not plus 300. But, the over I looked at initially, I was like, yeah, I could see it taking a little bit of time to get him out of there. So I'm on the round 2 sub prop at plus 2,200. I love everything you guys said.
All right, round 2 sub plus 2,200. Nice and juicy there. And then we got Marcus. Goes to the decision. This guy loves these goes to decisions when everybody and their mothers is on the unders. And he seems to hit some of them because he's hit some hellacious, overs that everybody was on unders. And just
he's a glutton for he must love pain because he likes betting unders in basketball.
I want to say
he
had the Rodriguez and what was that crazy fight? Last fight, Gregory Rodriguez and the Armenian guy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they killed each other, and somehow that thing went over. So he cashed that ticket, and I think everybody had under in that fight. So moving on, we will move on to fight number 5. It is Rafa Garcia going up against Jesse Ronson. What do you got, Tim, here?
Yeah, I mean, I have a money line bet on Ronson. I think he wins, but I think it could get a little greasy. So I'm going to go split decision. I have money line bet. I'm going to bet probably the points a little bit light, but I like the split decision 10-1 for Ronson. If you want to go on the other side, it's plus 850 on Garcia. I like both. I like that as a hedge too. It could be a close fight. I think he's got him covered pretty much everywhere. There's just question marks on just the layoff a little bit coming back from not having his vitamins. So just try to see, that's my only real question. I mean, I would have probably added to the money line, but I got it at plus 110. Thought that was a good line. And then, I like this split decision 10-1. So we'll go with that one.
All right. Tim with the split 10-1. Uncle Wheezy, what do you have here?
So I had a play for this one that I didn't even think would be eligible because I thought it would be less than plus 300, but it turns out it wasn't. I mean, it was actually pretty juicy. I thought the draw would be like plus 100 here, you guys, but this plus 6,600. This is greasy. This one I think is going to decision. I could see yam bag shots. I could see fence grabs. I could see eye pokes. This is a weird fight. It's hard to handicap. And sometimes when that happens, I'm taking those draw plays. That's the second draw play of the day. Will there be 3? You guys are going to have to tune in for the entire show to find out. But that is the second draw play. I couldn't fucking believe it was better than plus 100, plus 6,600, you guys. How do you not bet that? How do you not bet that? You could parlay the draw for Nunez and Hughes with the draw here and buy yourself a Lambo for like $10.
Uncle Weezy, my question to you is, what are you doing on Best Bets and all these other shows? You're made for Lambos if you're constantly betting these draws. I mean, what's going on here?
One of these draws is going to hit, man. We haven't had a draw in a minute, dude. And usually, sometimes we get 2-in-1 card when that happens. And
we were so robbed. We were so robbed the last time that Chad called the draw on Mariano and Kennedy in Shukwe.
Dude, I had that draw bet too. Brady called that on Best Bet. I had that draw.
Look at
that was so close, man. That fight had draw written all over
literally it. Won a 12-1, and I won a 20-1 on point to be deducted, and I lost on a 16-1 on Kennedy's by split, and I lost the 50-1, and I've legit never been as pissed in my life. as winning a 12-1 and a 20-1. I was like legit fucking angry.
Yeah.
Look what you guys did here. Look what Uncle Weezy, he made Tajik tap out. Tajik tap out. He said he relinquished the title of King of Draws. He's naming you the new King of the Draws, Uncle Weezy. You look what you did to the guy.
Hey, that's the thing though. If you do bet draws, there's just a strict correlation. You almost always have to bet point to be deducted, unless you're seeing it as like a somebody just beating the shit out of somebody and getting a 10-8 round. If you think that like if you bet a point to be deducted, you must bet draw, and if you bet draw, you almost always have to bet point to be deducted, just because they're so correlated.
What for me, what it is when I see two guys and I'm like, you know what, neither one of these guys is good enough to win this fight, but yet they're both durable and neither one of them's a finisher. That's when I'm like, it's going to a draw. Something's going to happen here. And that was exactly Negamarianu Kennedy, where you're like, who's going to win this fight? Somebody has to win this fight, right? Well, how about no? We're betting the draw. Well, Ronson Garcia feels like that kind of fight. And so does Nunez Hughes, just because Nunez tends to be a little bit of a cheater, grabbing that cage a lot.
All right. Another draw from Uncle Weezy. Lou, what do you got here?
I mean, I'm gonna lose my standing in my own company because, like, all I do, like, Weezy's just stealing all like the great stuff. For the record, when that point deduction hit, there was one other guy in the community on it with Tim. He knows who it was. Yeah, my favorite bet I ever made. I'm taking Ronson round 3 at plus 1,400, and I'll tell you why. I think Garcia, we know his fatigues. I can't argue with this. Oh no, I'm sorry, I changed it up. I have this fight to end a split decision at plus 500. Sorry, that's tame. That's tame for me tonight to only go plus 500. It's Garcia. Look, he's gonna fatigue. So the first 2 rounds he's gonna go for takedowns. He doesn't seem to do a lot of damage. Maybe I'm just biased. I can't forgive him for the Gritzmacher fight, but he goes for takedowns. Ronson is like insanely strong for this weight class. He just seems like one of the strongest human beings this weight I've ever seen in my life. Garcia, it could be rinse and repeat with Garcia for a round where he gets takedowns, doesn't do any damage. Ronson doesn't do anything. I think it's Ronson late, it's Garcia early. That second round could be weird. And I think hopefully we get Adelaide and Sal D'Amato on this card, and we get the split screen, and you're just getting paid. I think the plus, sorry, Weezy, I didn't want to bring up.
It's all right, man. It's all right.
I know it's like no fly zone to bring them up, but I think, I favor Ronson in the fight completely, but I can see a split decision if Garcia is just getting these takedowns, spamming takedowns, and then fading. So plus 500 is what I like here. Sorry for the really tame bet compared to you guys.
All right. Plus 500 split decision. Yeah, I mean, I like the Ronson side a lot here. I have a bet on him. I didn't get a good number like Tim did, but I got minus 110. I have 2.2 units. I think he has him covered everywhere, to be honest. And my bet here for Lambo plays is what Lou initially said, because I really like that round 3. Plus, I have it already at plus 1,800. I see it dip to plus 1,400 just now. But yeah, I bet that at plus 1,800. Ronson has the much better cardio here. Ronson's been 5 rounds. I know he's dropping weight here to 155. And this guy's, he's been fighting at 170 pounds. And when you look at him at face-offs, he's the much, much bigger guy. The guy has really good takedown defense. I mean, Natan Schultz, in that PFL fight was constantly going for takedowns. And Ronson was fighting a lot of them off, eventually getting up. I mean, it's hard to keep the guy down. He has good BJJ. I think he has the better striking here. He has power in his hands. I mean, everything I saw from this guy looked really good. I mean, look at the Dalby fight, right? I mean, it was whether or not whatever he was doing. I mean, he looked impressive in that fight, and then eventually subbing Dalby, who is definitely a UFC caliber fighter, and now he's, for me right here, I think this is a step down for him against Rafa Garcia. I think Dalby is a better fighter than Rafa Garcia is. The other thing with Rafa Garcia is, yeah, he gets takedowns, but he doesn't have control time. Guys are constantly getting up on him. So, even if he takes Jesse Ronson down, what's he going to do with it? Is he going to keep him down? If Natan Schultz cannot keep this guy down, he's not keeping him down. I'm telling you guys right now. So I really like the Jesse Ronson side. I like the Ronson round 3. I mean, it's plus 1,400 now. I would still play it because I think he's going to be the fresher fighter. This guy's been 5 rounds. And, he's shown really good cardio, even in grapple heavy fights. So give me Ronson round 3 plus 1,400.
It's 1,500 on FanDuel.
Yeah, okay. So plus 1,500 on FanDuel. If you guys can get to it, that's what I like for this fight. But moving on. Next fight of the night, it is Jakar Close going up against Brandon Jenkins. What do you have here, Uncle Weezy?
Yeah, this one's a pretty easy one because there's really no Lambo plays on a guy that's almost minus 800 anyway. But I mean, the guy looked like death on the scales. He's talking about how he still has effects from the shove from Jeremy Stevens. And then he's probably going to play this safe and try to take it easy. Well, Jenkins is a wild man, so why not Jenkins inside the distance? I think it's like plus 650 on FanDuel right now. I'm sorry. Jenkins inside the distance was plus 800, but I think it moved at plus 650 right at the beginning of the show, unfortunately. I think there's a lot of money coming in on Jenkins right now due to the fact that this guy just looked awful on the scales.
Yeah, I'm seeing still plus 800s. Yeah, there's still plus 800s inside the distance everywhere. DraftKings, Bet Online, they all have plus 800s for inside the distance. So you're good, Uncle Weezy. Plus 800. You're good to go. Lou, what do you got here?
I can't believe I'm going to go a little tamer with the same angle as Weezy, but I got to give Gordo a little credit today for this because we talked this through. Jenkins, no scorecards. So just if it goes to the scorecards, you get a push. It's still plus 410, which, I mean, I don't think Close is finishing him. I mean, like it's, we know what we're getting from Jenkins at this point. I thought the Close thing all week was a red herring. Oh, he's not feeling good. Like I thought, honest to God, I was like, I've seen this in betting NFL, other sports. You see this narrative all week, and it's like, they're just throwing this out there. But the line kept growing. So, okay. But he didn't, it wasn't just physically how he looked. His body language was, he just did not want to be there anymore. And Jenkins could put him on him. Look, I almost took round 1 KO at plus 25-1. And I'm not saying I won't take that. But if it goes to the scorecards, it's Close all day. And I like, if there's a finish, it's on the Jenkins side. So I think the plus 410, no scorecards is as safe as you can get for a fight that really has such a wide disparity in talent.
Yeah. So it is the no scorecards bet on the Jenkins side. For me, man, Jenkins just not UFC material for me, man. This guy, he's just looking for that meme knockout. Terrible takedown defense. Terrible when he's on the ground, giving up his back. The guy is just not good. His takedown defense is god awful. Zhu Rong was able to do whatever he wants with this guy on the ground. And the one thing I will say about Jakar Close is this guy was a wrestler. Like this guy came into the UFC known as a wrestler, has a good wrestling game. He just doesn't implement it as much. Looked very bad on the scales, man. Like shaking, and then he cut that little, 0.75 to make weight. And it was just not looking good for him. But when I listened to his interview, he said, they asked him, how do you, what do you want to do? How do you want to fight now? And the one thing he mentioned is he said, I want to go back to my roots. I want to wrestle more. I'm getting a little older. I want to do what's easier. And he said, so what are you going to do in this fight? He said, Jenkins has, bad takedown. I'm just going to take this guy down and submit him. And honestly, that's not like out of the realm, even though Jakar Close doesn't have submissions on his, on his record. But this guy Jenkins, I mean, look at the guys he's Close has fought, right? He's fought Mark Jacasey. He's fought Lando Venata. He's fought Bobby Green, Christian Yagos, Benil Dariush. I mean, imagine the step down here with Brandon Jenkins is awful, guys. The guy has terrible takedown defense. If Close really implements that plan, I'm telling you guys, sub is so damn live here. So submission is plus 1,300. I don't understand that line. Actually, it went down. I'm sorry. I played it at plus 1,300 on Bet Online. It just went down earlier. It's plus 1,200 still there. It's by far the best price at plus 1,200 on Bet Online. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer, especially if he implements the grappling here. So give me the submission plus 1,200 on the Jakar close side. Tim, what do you got?
I love it. I'm on it as well. Yeah, like there's just levels in this fight. I mean, same thing. Like I got scared off on the scales from Arce last week. I would have probably made a bigger bet on him. Yeah, I didn't make a bet at all based on like just the scales, and I'm not going to get scared off on that in this situation. But I really do think like the finish is live, even though he's been a point machine. That, like you said, I mean, like he almost got Dariush out before he got killed. So like, there's just no question in my mind if he's doing that to Jenkins, he could get a club and sub, or it's the same situation I was just talking about earlier. Like bet inside the distance, don't take the crappy, bet on plus 130 and you see minus like 120 on the inside the distance, and you're going for plus 130 on KO, which is definitely live, and then you say plus 1,100 or 1,200 on sub. It's just like hit inside this distance, don't get greedy, and then hit the huge prop line on the other side. So I've done that, and I'm completely with you, man. Jenkins gives up his back. He does so many terrible things on the ground, and I think the closest, people are saying, like I think Lou said, like he's going to come in and try to make the fight easier. It's like that's exactly this. This is the easiest path for him. So 11 or 12, I got it 11-1. You getting it at 13-1, just a ridiculous number. So I love it.
Yeah, Bet Online had it hanging at 13-1 earlier, and yeah, I bet it especially after watching his interview and how he wants to, just take this guy down and go back to wrestling. But guys say shit all the time. Doesn't mean they're going to do it. But there's levels, like you said, and this is a big level disparity here. And the other thing I do look at, and, people seem to think like this guy's a decision machine. But, man, this guy can crack, man. Like, the guys he's going to decision with are just very, very durable guys. Like Bobby Green, Venata, Jacasey, all these guys. Giagos is not, very, very durable, but the guy is not soft either. Like, look, he's being put out by high level guys. So it to me, it's like Jakar close. Brandon Jenkins is just not on his level, dude. Like if he doesn't land one of his crazy spinning stuff, he's completely screwed in this fight, I think. So even with the bad weight cut or whatever you want to call it there. So yeah. Moving on.
Oh. All right, so moving on, I'll take over so it comes back. Moving on, we got the Panty Kianzad versus Lena Lansberg. There you go.
I don't know what's going on today. My thing is acting crazy. But yeah, sorry. I heard you say Lena Lansberg versus Panty Kianzad. Thank you, Tim. Lou, you can kick this one off.
What an honor to start with this one. Yeah, I hate this fight so much. And like, just before I give the pick, like, I mean, why? I don't know why Lansberg's coming back. Like, there's no path to the title for her. She's not like, I don't understand her comeback at all. I took Kianzad to win in a split at plus 350. I mean, this is just for the show. Even Kianzad to win in a decision was minus 200. I can't see a great angle on this fight at all. I don't see Lansberg winning. I mean, it's weird that we have a queen and a king on this card, but I can't play either one of them. So Kianzad to win in a split plus 350. I have no confidence in this play, unfortunately. Again, it's a show bet, but if Lansberg can like be somewhat competitive, it's possible. But can I give away a pick that I have? Can I tell you not to bet it?
Yeah.
Good. There's my pick. Don't bet it.
There you go. His pick is don't bet it, guys. But yeah, for me, I just think Lansberg should not be here, man. Here's the thing. Like, the girl is 40 years old, coming off a layoff of 2 years, had a baby. So when you're getting a layoff at 38 years old, going to 40, that's a terrible layoff, guys. That's not that layoff when you're 24 years old and you got a 2-year layoff and you're coming back at 26. This is a 38-year-old lady having a baby and then taking 2 years off and deciding to come back in the ring. And to top it off, Lena Lansberg has been stopped once in her career, guys. You know by who?
But this 12
Penny
years ago or
Kianzad.
10 years ago, right?
And 10 years ago in their first fight. And the other thing I'll tell you is Penny Kianzad is way better on the feet here. She has shown way better takedown defense of late. If anything, I think Kianzad might be able to take her down here. On the feet, it's a mismatch to me. That's the thing. And even if this does hit the floor, like Kianzad was threatening against Raquel Pennington in her last fight. Like she was threatening with a triangle from bottom and a bunch of other stuff. Not that she's the greatest grappler, but Lansberg just should not be here. And for me, I'm going to take Kianzad inside the distance plus 400 because I think both things are possible. More than likely the knockout is obviously more live, but I think she can sub this girl too. So give me plus 400 inside the distance.
Where do you get plus 400 at, Mike?
Plus 400. I did not write it down, but I can find it for you. But you can go on and give us your pick, and I'll let you know where it is.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I like that line a lot. So I'm on the same track. I'll get a little bit greedy on this one. I'm definitely going to play the inside the distance as well. I haven't done it yet, but I'm kind of like looking and trying to find out that best line. I like the KO 2-3 and the KO 3 for Penny. I think the exact same thing. Like, just try to stay away from betting on people that are coming on 2-year layoffs. And then you say, oh, they just had a kid. It's like, great. And you go, they don't get knocked out except for when they fight the person that they're absolutely fighting right now. It's like, oh, all right, well, I'm definitely not betting on that person. But I like the only side I would say that like as a hedge play, like let's say if something does get greasy and you're on the Lena side, I don't mind somebody taking a split decision prop on her. Like that's where I thought you were going on that one, Lou, was the Lena side at 17-1. But I'm on the KO 2-3 plus 1,000 on FanDuel and the KO 3 20-1.
All right, Uncle Weezy. What do you got? I'm still looking for this.
So, like, I agree with everything that Narco Cop said. That's exactly my bet. Lena Lansberg, 40 years old, just had a baby, 2-year layoff. So I've got Kianzad inside the distance. It's really one of my more confident picks at plus 350 is where I got it. And I mean, if you want to get greedy, I shit you not. I think she might finish her in the first round. Because, like, coming back, like you mentioned exactly what I was going to talk about, that layoff. There are different types of layoffs, right? When you're a woman and you're 38 and your layoff involves a pregnancy, you're going to come back and you're going to feel that first punch in the face, and it might become abundantly clear that you don't want to do this anymore and that this is not the path for you anymore. You're past your prime. You have no path to the championship here. Kianzad inside the distance at plus 350 is sick, you guys. I'm thinking about just throwing a unit on it straight and trying to come out 3.5 units ahead because I think Lena's going to quit.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Tim, it was actually on Bet Online, but the number dropped to plus 325. I bet it at 3:15 p.m. I bet it.
It's plus 340 now on FanDuel. I think I'm going to hit that one up.
It was plus 400 earlier on Bet Online. So, Lou, that you already kicked this one off. I thought I was going to give you a.
I changed my answer. I'll just I'll go again if you want.
Listen, we're trying to change your mind to take Penny Kianzad inside the distance.
I started off by saying I don't even know why Lansberg's taking the fight. It seems like a cash grab. I mean, it's just.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bet what you guys told me. I'm a good listener.
Yeah, she's just not. I don't know. I don't know what's making her come back. I don't like it.
But you're obligated to bet at least lunch money on all of our picks. I will bet all of your picks, 100%.
Tim, you've known me long enough. Do you doubt that I'm going to?
Do
you doubt it?
I'm seeing Lou. He's writing stuff down. I'm telling you right now.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm basically going to be betting all of your picks.
I'm like plus 900, and then I stop.
There's
listening.
absolutely.
I'm like, plus 900. Okay.
Trust me, there's absolutely nothing worse than watching somebody else pick on the show that just hits, and you're like, oh, I didn't pick that. Didn't pick that.
Trust me, I'm excited for the next fight. So I'll earn my money.
All right, fight number 8. Since you're so excited, it is Devin Clark going up against William Knight. I can kick this banger of a fight off. Man, I mean, I was really surprised, man. I was waiting for weigh-ins for this, and William Knight weighed in at an astonishing 251, guys. This guy cuts to 205. What the heck is going on here? No wonder he was 218 in his last fight. He missed by 13 pounds or whatever, 13 pounds in his last fight. This guy looked absolutely huge, man. The guy looks like a tank at 250, at heavyweight. Devin Clark, with all the weight he had on, I think he weighed in at 223 or something. There's going to be a huge size advantage here as far as weight. Even strength advantage. Devin Clark is strong, but William Knight is an ox, man. This guy is insane strength. We know what Devin Clark wants to do. He wants to get this fight to the ground. William Knight doesn't have very, very good takedown defense because we saw it in that Unjung fight. Like, he was just taken down and just destroyed in that fight. But, fights after that, he seemed to, do, pretty good with his takedown defense. Wasn't that bad. Obviously, they're not grapplers as good as Devin Clark, because Devin Clark has a good wrestling background. I think he can land takedowns. The point is, can he hold William Knight down? I think William Knight is explosive. He's strong. He's, like I said, he's going to outweigh him by a lot here. You were talking about 30 pounds, guys. So for me, honestly, like, the way I'm seeing, like, what's going on with Devin Clark lately is just he gets rocked a lot. He just doesn't seem to be very good on the feet. And William Knight is not good at all, guys. I don't like this guy at all. But the one thing he has is he has a lot of power. This is my least confident Lambo play of the card, and it's William Knight by KO at plus 360. Even though the line is short, I think that's his path of victory. I don't think this guy's winning a decision. He doesn't have any volume. What is he going to do? Grapple here? I doubt it. The guy is KO or bust here. So give me KO at plus 360. Not very confident. Tim, what do you like?
Yeah, unfortunately, when you're not too confident, and I'm going to be backing you on this one as well. Like, it's the same thing as going Oleinik by sub at plus 2, whatever it was last. How do you get like Abdul Razak Al Hassan at KO 1 500 plus 500? It's like, okay, like, you're giving that number on their win condition. Okay, I'll take it. Absolutely. The Lambo right there is his win condition. So I don't see him winning like a decision at all. So I'm with you on this one. I'm not like you said, I don't rate him very highly, and it's up to, a meme KO type situation, which is, again, like his win condition. So plus 360, it's not terrible.
If he fights like he did in the Alonzo Menifield fight and just fucking goes for it, he might get it here. Like, and it's a smaller cage too. So, it's not like, this guy can keep his distance or something.
He has his power later on too. It's not like it's something that he just is like, it's like round 1 or bust. He can hit you at any point and knock you out. So.
Yeah. And to be honest, I wonder if his cardio is going to be better here because he doesn't have to cut all this weight. I mean, 50 pounds. He's cutting freaking 50 pounds. That's
what if he's more powerful too?
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. It's interesting. I know his speed is not going to be the same, but he's got the power. Uncle Weezy.
So the biggest bet I have this week is actually the finish only prop on William Knight, which for some reason was plus 100 on DraftKings. Dude, that makes no sense. Devin Clark has never finished a UFC opponent in his 6 wins, and William Knight has finished 9 of his 11 wins inside the distance. So, I love the finish prop here for Knight, and Knight wins in round 1 or 2 is plus 410 on FanDuel. Every time Devin Clark's been finished, it's been in the first or second round. And the only time he didn't get finished in a loss was against Kudalaba, who beat the living shit out of him for the first 2 rounds. That fight, if it wasn't drunk Keith Peterson in the cage there, reeking of alcohol and cigarettes, that fight gets stopped, and Clark's been stopped in all 6 of his UFC losses. So it's not a Lambo play, but plus 100, if it's still available on DraftKings for Knight finish only, is silly. But plus 410 for Knight, kind of by his best win condition, because if this goes to the third, you kind of got to feel that Clark's volume and his conditioning will probably be a little bit better than Knight's there, and maybe he doesn't get the knockout in the third. But in the first and second, it's plus 410. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see that, but it's minus 115. I still think that has value, honestly.
Yeah, it's plus the KO 1-2. Are you doing just rounds 2 or KO 1-2 for Knight?
I have just round 1-2. What's KO round 2?
KO round. Yeah, it's not much more. It's worth. You're doing it better. It's plus 500.
Okay, yeah. I mean, maybe he gets. I don't know. Yeah, I always like to just kind of throw the. All right, if he gets that RNC, because like somebody who's never even put on a gi could finish an RNC, So maybe he gets that. But yeah, that's the way I'd play it.
I totally agree with Marcus. This fight is dog shit, but hey, this is the Lambo place, Marcus. We're gonna give you plus 300 plays or better. Lou, what do you got?
When you have a ridiculous fight that makes no sense, as nothing in this fight makes sense. Like, why is it heavyweight? Like, why is Clark still fighting? Why is his dad still his coach? There are a lot of things. I don't know if you've looked at chat, but sometimes you just got to give the people what they want. And at 20-1, I'm taking a point deduction. I'm taking a kick in the yam bags at 20-1. The yam bag special. This fight deserves a point deduction. It will happen on a Clark takedown late when Knight tires in the first. I'm also taking the draw at 50-1. I think Knight 10-8s him the first round. I think Knight comes out strong. And I think Clark, who just seems to be able to take an inhumane amount of punishment, will get 10-8 of the first and come back with two crappy, I do nothing but takedowns the second and third round. I love the draw at 50-1 here. And it can happen. You can hit both the Yambek special and the draw in one bet. I'm telling you right now, this is the only outcome we deserve from this fight even being booked in the first place. This is the most nonsensical booking I've ever seen in my life.
Now, did you go get that yam bag because of Uncle Weezy?
I had it here the whole time. I had it here for my 5:30 show.
There you go. I love it.
and I felt that it needed to be reused. And look, say what you want. Look at the chat. Got to give the people what they want.
Yeah, a lot of yam bags in chat, so you give them the yam bag play.
Your ratings just went through the roof, man.
Yeah, I mean this fight is
it's awful. It's awful.
It's an awful fight. I don't like it, and it's at heavyweight for whatever.
Can I ask you a question?
Crazy reason. Go ahead.
Knowing how crazy the fight is, like I've talked about this. Last week we had Olynyk Vandera, which was not a classic. It was all the chaos you want to enjoy in a 3-minute fight. Like not a classic, but amazingly enjoyable. Knowing what this fight is there a problem? Just I want to root for chaos. And sometimes you just got to have that. And I look at this fight like all I want to do is root for, like I want Menafield to be the ref. I want this to be as crazy as possible.
I mean, it could get crazy with William Knight because his fights do get crazy at times.
So I'm going to play the craziest props on the board because of it. Like this is the one where I'm like, and I honestly believe the draw is, I have it handicapped at plus 4,800. So for me, it's great value at plus 5,000.
All right, the draw, the yam bag shot, all over the place. But Lou giving you some huge plays there. We will move on. It is fight number 9. It is Munir Lazzez going up against the late minute replacement, Anhe Loosa. Tim, you kick this one off.
You know what? I really was struggling kind of to find a prop on this one. I'm actually gonna. I don't know if you're gonna use the one that you gave me to tail. Are you gonna give that one? Are you gonna use that one, Mike?
No. You
okay? So I'll use that one because I really don't have. I honestly didn't really. I wasn't looking for. I think Lazzez wins by points, and it's not big enough. But I'm tailing your bet on this. And in BetMGM, there's more takedowns for Loosa is at plus 300. So that's a Lambo play right there. It's only on that. So, you got to have access to BetMGM, but that's a really good line. So I didn't mind putting like a little bit over a unit on that. So I like that bet. And he's got the wrestling. He's just a big, strong dude. I think Lazzez got his stats are a little skewed from one fight, and that can happen sometimes. So yeah, give me that. I really don't have a strong lean on this fight, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't use that, but man, I love that play. Like that plus 300 is insanity to me, guys. If you have bet MGM, go freaking bet it, because I'm telling you right now, Loosa has very good takedown defense and he has very good double leg takedowns. We saw it in his last fight. Like the guy can grapple. He's at Sanford. He's grappling with good guys. He's a powerful dude. And you know, you look at Munir Lazez. Yeah, he has takedowns, but against who? Al Hassan, who anybody can take down. Like the guy has terrible takedown defense. And then not to mention, Al Hassan took him down. So what does that tell you Angel Loosa can do? And he's plus 300 to get more takedowns? Like, I don't understand. Like, that makes zero sense to me. I think that's like a slam dunk. I slammed that play as much as I could. So moving on, Uncle Weezy, what do you got here?
Yeah, I'm just going to go with Lazez by split decision. I mean, he's the favorite here. Loosa has never been finished in either of his losses. I could see this being very close because Loosa's a short notice replacement, didn't have time to prepare for this particular opponent, but he's training at a good camp. He can make this really close on short notice. So yeah, Lazez by split decision is plus 700. That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I do see it kind of as a close fight. So yeah, I mean, that's a solid line. Lou, what do you have?
I'm going to play the same decision, but I'm going to go the other way here. I'm going to play Loosa. Unanimous decision is plus 500. Lazez, to me, I think all his lines and his rep are still based off the fight with like Al Hassan, which, you know, Weezy would tell you we don't use that name in our company for all the bets that he's cost us. There's nothing impressive about him to me. He's a point fighter. I think Loosa's training with a better camp. I think he's fighting better fighters every day in his camp. You know, Lazez trains out of the UAE. He's on short notice, I know, but there's nothing impressive about him at all. And I think, and the one thing that you just brought up, Narco, is I think he has a very underrated ground game. His takedown defense is good. His takedowns, he doesn't go for a lot of takedowns, but they're explosive. And I like him. I think he can win a comfortable 30-27 here. And I think unanimous at 5-1 is not bad. I don't see a finish here at all. Like it's not a Lambo play, but fight goes the distance to me feels about as safe. I think it's safe, but I love Loosa unanimous and just juice it up to 500.
All right, Loosa unanimous plus 500. Yeah, I mean,
you must hit the split. You must hit the split if you do unanimous. You got 14-1 on him there too. So you go 5, and if you hit the 5, and then you hit the 14.
I won't. I'm just.
Oh yeah.
I gotta go different. I gotta go different. You're making me.
No, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I played the Loosa just regular decision plus 400. You know, Munir, you saw it in that fight against Al Hassan. He took some absolute bombs in that first round. I mean, Al Hassan unloaded the kitchen sink, and the guy has a lot of power, landed some big bombs on this guy. And this guy took him. You know, he has a really good chin, very good recovery. We know Warley Alves stopped him last, but I mean, he broke his rib from a body kick. I mean, that can happen. It's not like the guy is not tough. The guy is extremely tough. I agree with you. I think this fight goes to decision. But I like the Angel Loosa side because of the grappling, guys. I think, you know, he's going to be able to land takedowns. The striking, I do favor Lazez a little, you know, because he's going to be the longer guy. But I think it's going to be competitive. Like Angel Loosa losing, you know, I'll tell you guys something. The loss to Jack Della was impressive to me after what I see from Jack Della. Like the guy is good, man. He's a tank. And Angel Loosa was in there up until the third round. Like the guy was, you know, it wasn't like a complete washout. It was a close fight. And, you know, he comes back, fights John Howard on the regional scene, you know, on XMMA. And, you know, a couple of weeks ago and looked very, very impressive, man. Just looked like he stepped up his game in his striking, was mixing in the takedowns really, really well there. And he landed a bunch of takedowns in that fight. So, you know, Angel Loosa by decision, plus 400. I think that line is a little off. I think that's his path of victory. I don't think he stops Lazez. So, you know, you're giving me, a nice plus 400 number on this guy. I'm going to take it, and I really like to play. I'm also going to play Loosa straight at plus 172.
Yeah, the best way, I really love, like, betting splits, obviously. And it's just such a great way to connect with like what you're saying and going on points for like a Loosa and saying, okay, you bet by points and you're hitting two beautiful bets. So you get 14-1 and then you get the 4-1. And obviously if you go very, very light, say you do 10% on the split decision and you go 90% of your bet on this, or say you do your money line at 50% of your bet and then 40% is by points or 30 and then you hit the 10% there. It's a really, really good way to like make a huge amount of money on a couple props and just you know it's going to have, you have a feeling it's going to go a certain way and you can just capitalize a little bit more. And it's how I got hooked on doing it. It's just it's so much better feeling.
So Tim is dropping some knowledge for you guys in chat of how to make these profitable bets on these props. Thank you for the information, Tim. I'm sure the chat is going to love that. We will move on. It is fight number 10. It is Pat Sabatini going against TJ Laramie. Uncle Wheezy, you can have this one.
Okay, so, I mean, I've got a bet on Pat Sabatini. I have him parlayed up with Martin Buday. But, you know, I mean, like, Lambo plays, you don't want to be trying to make a Lambo play out of a guy that's a minus 500 favorite because you have to go to such a small win condition in order to hit that, you know, you're overpaying for it. So why not go the other way, play into some variance here? Pat Sabatini, 0% takedown defense thus far in the UFC on 2 takedown attempts against. How about my guy, the Laramie by decision, plus 650. Let's say he takes him down in 2 rounds and accumulates a ton of control time. Sabatini's not fantastic on the feet. You know, and if Laramie can get takedowns and avoid submission attempts, he could win a decision here. Do I think that that's going to happen? No, but is it a Lambo play? And is it TJ Laramie's best path to victory here? Yes. So I think that that's the way I would play this if I wanted to get a fat prop on this fight. Just say that, hey, man, I think that this guy can win fights using his wrestling. And Sabatini has not been able to block both takedown attempts against him.
All right. So TJ Laramie by decision for Uncle Wheezy. Lou, what do you have for this one?
You know how you guys are all from Chicago area? I'm from Philly. So who do you think I'm picking in this one? Sabatini, round 2 sub. How you doing? Keep it moving. The only problem I have here is that 3 of Laramie's losses are first round. The Minner thing's an outlier to me. It's fluky, weird loss that you lose under a minute to a guy with a minute and 30 seconds of cardio. Like Minner's win condition is I have to win in a minute or I'm gassed. I just like everything I've seen from Sabatini. I think the line is wide. I will say this. I mean, it's been bet. It's been steamed like it's a Contender Series line. It's crazy. Like, what did it open at 240, right? Yeah, it's crazy steam, but I don't like the layoff from Laramie. Laramie has like a decent ground game. And you're talking about Sabatini hasn't stopped 2 takedowns. Well, he's only had 2 takedowns against him because he's just so active going for it. I think maybe it takes a little longer than usual. I think Laramie's a little underrated. He's a little underrated at the spot, but only a matter of time before Sabatini gets him out of there. I got round 2 sub. It's dropped. It's plus 600 now, but I think it'll take him a little bit of time, but eventually Sabatini just wraps that neck, gets him out of there.
All right. Sabatini, round 2 submission plus 650. Yeah, for me, I don't hate TJ Laramie. I think the guy is pretty good. He's a good grappler, has good wrestling. Like you see, he grapples a lot. I mean, lots of takedowns on his regional tape. You know, the loss to Minners, like Minners is just that guy early. Like he's extremely dangerous with his submissions. He went for a takedown, got caught, and I think he was in half guard. I have no idea how he tapped to that, but he tapped in half guard to that guillotine, which that's the only thing that's a really bad look to me. Like he insta tapped, and it just seems like this guy, you know, I mean, I know it was kind of deep, but man, in half guard, you got to try to work out of that. You can't just insta tap like he did against Minner. So it was a very, very bad look to me that he tapped like that. But this guy has good wins in the regional scene. Like this guy has beat Charles Jourdain. I mean, he's beat this guy Nogueira that was 25-6. I mean, you know, he's got good wins. But like his paths are most of the time are grappling, right? He likes to wrestle. Like it's just bad news here if you're wrestling against Pat Sabatini and getting this fight to the ground. Because if you think the submissions from Derek Minner were bad, Pat Sabatini's submissions are much worse. So the guy's extremely strong. TJ Laramie, to me, is not a 45er. This guy is too small for 45. I mean, the guy only stands 5'6", only has a 66-inch reach. He just seems like a very, very small guy. So even at faceoffs, like, the guy is built, but he just shouldn't be at 45. This guy should be at 35. So for me, Sabatini submission round 1 plus 410. I just think TJ Laramie is just going to go back to what he does and what he knows how to do. And that's wrestle. And to wrestle with a guy like Sabatini and get on the ground with him, he's got many different ways of subbing you. So give me Sabatini submission 1 at plus 410. That's the way I'm going to go here. Tim, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to do both of yours. Like I have, I bet 3 bets on this fight so far. It's Sabatini by sub. It's not big enough, but the sub 1-2 is plus 210. And then I've already bet the sub 1 at plus 410 and the sub 2 at plus 650. I just don't see it lasting beyond the second. I mean, like if it goes to that point, then maybe what Wheezy's saying is live, that the points for Laramie is live at that point. So yeah, I feel like the sub in round 1 would be my pick if I had to choose between them both. But like Lou said, it's possible that this could just be a little greasy in the first round and he comes close and then gets him in the second. But I'm choosing both of those. I love both of them. I think there's levels to this. I think, like you said, Laramie's undersized. You got to question his management on accepting this fight against Pat. This is like the worst matchup that you could give for him. So,
yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think it's a good matchup, but I do like Uncle Wheezy's take. Like, if this goes to decision, I do think TJ Laramie has a chance to win a decision here. Like, because I think he's the better striker for sure here. Like, the win condition that I see with Laramie is like that the wrestling holds up against. Well, that's the thing, right?
If
it gets to decision, right? That means most likely Pat wasn't on top, because if Pat's on top and he's winning a decision there, like he's probably getting a sub. So if he's on bottom and Laramie's surviving and it gets to decision, like he's going to get the win. And then on the feet, I favor Laramie. So if it goes to decision, I like that. That's not a bad play. And you're getting a huge number. So
such a great hedge line if you're Wheezy. Yeah. It's a great hedge line.
Yeah. But moving on, fight number 11, it's Mayra Bueno Silva going up against Yanan Wu. Lou, you always get the best fights, so we'll give it to you one more time. Go ahead.
I mean, Wu might be the worst fighter on the roster, and this is a roster that up until recently had Chase Sherman. Now he's gone, so now we need a new candidate. I mean, all her wins are against Owen, whatever. The problem here is that Silva, I mean, how much do we trust her to actually execute a game plan? Like, the takedowns are there. Yunnan could go for a body lock and fall over, and then, like, okay, there's the takedown, like, by accident. So, you got to play Silva somehow here, I think. So, I went sub round 2 plus 700, and my reasoning is she will luck into a takedown and realize that she got a takedown. Because if she executes a smart game plan, she could get Wu Yunnan out of there in, like, a minute. But I'm going to say it just takes a little bit of time. I like the submission, like, in this, because I think Silva's tough, and, like, she's shown flashes that she can be a good grappler if need be. Like, it's on the regional she has anyway, but I'm playing the sub prop round 2 at plus 700. I like her in the distance to begin with. I think it will not go longer than 2 rounds, and I like her to get her out of there submission. That's how I feel.
Sub 2 on FanDuel's plus 1,000.
I like so as John Levitt would say, that would be more than, wouldn't it? Because I would go with that then. I was just looking at DraftKings lines. The only thing I feel that I lose this with is if she gets a sub in round 1. But
all right, sub 2 plus 1,000 if you got FanDuel. For me, I'm gonna go with just the Silva sub at plus 300. She's the much better grappler. Yanan Wu, Jocelyn Edwards had her in an extremely deep armbar. And we know Jocelyn Edwards is not a grappler. The girl's a stand-up. She had her in a bad armbar. Like, and to be honest, like Mayra Bueno Silva's favorite submission is the armbar. Look at how many she has. She has 1, 2, 3. She's got 3 arm bars. You know, you look at her grappling match, her last grappling match, it's by armbar. So she loves that armbar. I think she gets it here, to be honest, against Wu. Like, she's not very smart on the ground. So give me that plus 300. I know it's just right there at the Lambo edge, but I like it. I think Silva's just the best. Silva's better everywhere. Let's be honest. The only thing that Wu has an advantage here is the amount of strikes, right? The volume. She throws a lot more volume, but like she has no impact on her punches. Like Buena Silva has power. It's just hard for her to win minutes here. I don't see Wu winning minutes. Tim.
Right there with you both. I like the sub. We're going to take the sub prop at plus 300 as well. And to get slightly greasy, if you want to, I actually don't think it goes to round 2. I think she gets her immediately in round 1. So the only question is obviously if, how does the fight get to the ground? Because she doesn't attempt takedowns. So maybe she pulls a Mackenzie Dern and just flops and jumps on her and then pulls her to the ground, or goes in the cage and jumps on her back and goes for a Kimura. So yeah, I'll take, what's that?
No, Eagles referring to is coming back from ACL, but I don't know.
MCL.
That was Wu Yunan MCL. Yeah. That was a couple months ago.
I'm on the sub, and then if you're on Wu, like there is a good line if you do like the split decision is 22-1. So I put a little bit on that just because if this fight does stay standing, Buena Silva does not. She's very low volume. She might connect with way bigger shots, but she's probably going to get outstruck. So I don't think she loses, but if she does, I think it's a greasy split decision. So 22-1 is rock solid there. So I did take a little stab on that, but I'm big time on Buena Silva by violence here, like the sub prop plus 300.
All right. Tim also on the sub prop plus 300. Uncle Weezy, take us home on this fight.
Yeah, I was actually on Wu earlier in the week, and then I found out that she's not affiliated with the Wu-Tang Clan at all. So I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me, man. This girl's going to get the piss beaten out of her. So, Mayra Bueno Silva almost finished Marina Moroz in round 3 with strikes. And, and Wu's kind of tough. She comes forward. There's not a lot of process to Mayra Bueno Silva's game, but she is going to land big shots. I think they might be attritional. I kind of like the round 3 here at plus 1,200. And I think she might knock her out, you guys.
I don't mind it because, she was even coming forward and chucking bombs in the Ferro fight in round 3. Like, she was going for it. And she knew she was down in that fight. And, she was going for it against a very, very good striker. So, Wu is not that good striker. Wu is not very good defensively. Keeps her chin. Keeps her chin way up there when she's backpedaling. It does not look good. I don't mind that whatsoever. I think I'm going to hit that round 3 with you, Uncle Weezy.
Nice.
Moving on. Fight number 12, it's Andre Fialio going up against Miguel Baeza. I can kick this one off. I really liked Miguel Baeza before. I thought this guy was a prospect. I still think he is a prospect. The guy is still only 29 years old. Long guy, 6'2", 74-inch reach for, 100 for welterweight. The guy, has good striking, has good calf kicks. But the one thing that he does have is he's flawed, right? He's flawed defensively. He seems to get hit too much in the pocket. In his last fight where he got KO'd, he's throwing a naked leg kick there and just absolutely got blasted by Chaos Williams. You just can't do that against a huge puncher like that. So, I think these are mistakes that can be corrected. It's not like some big deal, but this guy has a legit black belt. From everything I've heard, this guy's a black belt is legit. He's very good on the ground. His striking is nice. He's long. He's got good kicking game. His cardio could be a little better. I think that's a little bit of a question, but it's not terrible. he got into a war with Santiago Ponzinibbio where he kind of faded late. But I mean, he was giving it to Santiago Ponzinibbio early on. And Miguel Baeza, I think, is only going to get better. Andre Fialio, he's just the guy that's going to come in and just try to take your head off, right? That's all this guy's going to try to do. His cardio is not good. So for me, I think I like Miguel Baeza round 3 plus 1,000 is the way I'm going to go here. I think he has the better cardio here. I think he has the better, cleaner striking here. And I think, if he's smart here, he chops at Andre Fialio's legs because Andre Fialio is very, very heavy on his lead foot. And we know Baeza can kick calves. Like, he has a good kicking game. He just sometimes seems to abandon it, which I can't stand. I don't know why he does that. He chops people's legs in the first round and then abandons it. I have no idea why. Hopefully he gets yelled at a little more and does it here. But I think he eventually gets a stoppage in round 3 at plus 1,000 is the way I'm going to go. Tim.
Yeah, I was just looking at those lines. The KO 3 is plus 1,400 and the sub 3 is plus 3,700. So in those situations, you might be like better off at hitting the KO and then like just really light on the sub because it's so huge, right? There's such a huge difference between them. If that number is kind of off, if you ask me. So I might actually do that with you. I like Baeza for the same reasons. I like Baeza by KO and 2-3 is plus 500, but I'm going to definitely take a shot on the round 3. I like that as well. I think it's possible he gets him out in 2 as well. I'm not impressed by Fialio very much at all. Like, he's going to be like, he's front loaded and he's going to be pretty much KO 1. I think on 10 of 11 of his KOs are in round 1. So that's just, if you're on him, why not bet that? I don't mind that as a hedge. So, but yeah, I like the Baeza later the fight goes, round 2, round 3.
Yeah, I mean, he looked good against Pereira last fight on short notice, but like Pereira's a gasser himself. Like, guy's doing all kinds of crazy stuff and he's slowing down himself. So it's not like it's some like, wow, he looked great against Pereira, but I mean, Pereira, like I said, he's a flashy guy, but it's not like he's a cardio machine himself. So, Uncle Weezy, what do you got?
I mean, and Pereira's a flashy guy who hates being marched down, and that's what Fialio did to him for 3 rounds. You march down Baeza, he's gonna chop your calves in half, and he's gonna blast you in the fucking face because he throws hands. Pereira's just throwing all that weird ass spinning shit. He needs room to operate. You walk into Baeza, he's going to murder you. So I see attritional work on these calves that he's obviously going to do. I see him piling up a bunch of damage. I see Fialio throwing one punch at a time and trying to counter and gassing late like he always does. Baeza round 3 plus 1,000. That's what I'm going with.
And then also I didn't mention, like, if Baeza honestly wants, I think he can get takedowns here. Like, if he decides to grapple, like, he's so much better on the ground if he decides to take it to the ground. And it would be smart of him. Like, if he implements what he did against Sato, he might win by submission here. Lou, what do you like?
I mean, I got to echo everything you guys said. I actually like so I got Baeza around 2 KO. Like, I with you with the calf kicks. And you just brought up the takedowns, which is the one thing I was going to add here. I think Baeza coming off like the way he lost last time, the knockout loss, I could actually see him spending the first round going to takedowns, like actually going a little away from his usual game plan, because he knows if he just goes to takedowns, Fialio's going to have no response and he's going to gas him completely. And that second round starts and he is going to have nothing left. And that's when I like Baeza. He's done some damage with the calf kicks. He's done damage with the cardio. He's going to chew him up in that second round, get him out of there, kind of get back on the winning track. He's got so much talent. I thought he won the Ponzinibbio fight, by the way. I realized how it played out. I've rewatched it. I think you can make a case for Baeza there. It was close. There was nothing close about the last loss. It was weird. Bad fight IQ, just the way he played out. But I think he gets a takedown early here. He can completely make Fialio useless for the second round.
The thing was, it was weird about the last fight. I mean, he was winning that fight handily, and then he had thrown I remember watching it with my friend, and I said man, he's thrown 3 or 4 of them now that are naked and connected on him really I'm like, he's really, really cutting it thin. And the next one he did it, and I was like, oh shit, there it is.
And Chaos Williams was surprisingly competitive on the ground when they were going through these like weird exchanges. He didn't look terrible, which I don't think anybody like. He didn't have that element of his game that he'd shown yet. But yeah, Baeza just decided, let's go firepower against this guy. Like, I mean, I'm hoping. I can't say this for sure. I'm just hoping he has better coaches. Like that his coaching staff can reassess this now. He's taking a bad loss and say, all right, look, you have all these elements of your game. Like let's become more complete, because it will be one-sided if he goes to any kind of grappling or wrestling against Fialio.
Yep. But we will move on here. We are moving on to fight number 13. It is the co-main event. It is Caio Borralho going up against Omar Gadzhiev. We will give this one off to you, Tim. It's two of the Dana White's Contender Series boys.
All right, yeah. I mean, I think this is going to be a really close fight, and I do think that it's going to hit the scorecards, and there's some different styles. I think Caio's got the better striking, clearly, and it's just a question of, does his black belt in judo hold him off and be able to kind of hold off the wrestling and the relentlessness of Gadzhi here. So I think it does. I have a money line bet on Caio, and I've got Caio by points plus 360. And I don't mind Caio by split at 14-1. Just thinking, like, I'm not sure that he's going to get a KO. I've seen people talking that that's potential if the fight does stay standing. Maybe, that's the thing. If he's like consistently stopping takedowns, I think the KO is actually live. But I don't think that he's going to consistently stop takedowns. I think he's going to actually struggle a little bit, and it's going to be a little bit close. So I'll take the shot at this 14-1 on split. Points plus 360.
Yeah, all right. I'm echoing everything that Tim just said, because I feel the exact same way here, man. Borralho by split decision plus 1,400. I think he's gonna stop some of these takedowns. We've seen Caio go 5 rounds on the regional scene and win. He's got a great gas tank. Gadzhi's gonna wrestle, because if he doesn't wrestle successfully, he's probably gonna lose this fight. Caio's got power in both hands. I think that even if Gadzhi racks up 7 or 8 minutes of control time, that he still might not win this fight, because I think that when they're exchanging, that we're going to see Caio landing the bigger shots. So yeah, plus 1,400 for the split decision. I like that quite a bit.
There we go. Another split decision on Caio. Lou, do you have split decision also?
Am I allowed to curse on the channel?
Sure.
Caio's going to fucking murder this dude. Round 1 sub. 11-1. I'm not impressed with anything I've seen from Gadzhi's tape. I'm just not. I'm not impressed. I think he can get him up against the cage and grind him. I think Caio has him beat everywhere. I think he's a smarter fighter. I think he's going to make it an uncomfortable fight. I could actually see Caio like off the bat rushing him and just getting in his face, because Gadzhi wants nothing to do with being on the stand up here. And Caio will have a good game plan. I'm so impressed by everything I've seen by him. He's shown resilience. I think he's good. I think he's going to be the better grappler. I don't care. I know how weird it sounds. I think he's going to take everything that Gadzhi can do. He's going to get on top. He's going to sub this guy. Arm bar, 4th minute of the fight. That's how much I like it.
What's the line for arm bar 4th minute of first round?
Plus 98,000.
All right.
Yeah.
Plus 98,000.
You only got 60 seconds to make it happen, man. So they got to make it juicy.
I honestly like Caio in so many elements of this fight, but I honestly think I get how people think this is close. I get it. And I think Caio goes against the narrative and just wrecks this dude and makes it like, oh my God, we have a new contender.
Have you seen that line on DK? Because they do that now. Like, you can actually bet the minutes of rounds. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Would you like to know what it is? Because
that's hilarious. The last 4 minutes, I would. I mean, I bet it's something absurd. Like, if you're
you mean like literally that minute?
I bet it's probably like 40. I bet it's probably like plus probably 40-1. Probably 35 to 40-1 would be my guess.
I am looking it up right now. Oh, you can only bet like the actual time of the finish. You cannot bet
the minute,
the fighter.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's probably going to
Between
be like
3 minutes and 3:59 of the first round is 28-1.
28. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, if you go sub, it would probably give you another 12.
I have it capped at 27-1. It's great value.
You're getting an edge there, baby. You got to take that.
I just always wanted
1/3,
to be able
1%
to
edge.
say, well, I had it capped at this, so But I'm Kaio all day. I honestly don't even think it's competitive. But
all right, well, Lou, you're preaching to the choir because I'm a Dana White Contender Series whisperer. I've been telling everybody about this guy Kaio. I've won both of his fights. I bet huge money on both of them. Everybody, I think, and their mothers was on Aaron Jeffrey in that first fight. I told him this guy is really good. He's high level everywhere. But the one thing this guy brings that is above a lot of like UFC fighters that are veterans, right? It's this guy's fight IQ is extremely high, guys. Yeah. Listen, he doesn't fight at the Fighting Nerds for no reason. That camp is there for a reason. It's called the Fighting Nerds because this guy is very cerebral. But seriously, like you watch him on tape, like the way he circles, the way he defends takedowns and circles off the cage, everything he does is like so correct. And even defending takedowns, he's always fighting hands. He's always digging for underhooks. Like Gadziev is a good grappler. Like we know he's, he has that Dagestani in him and he's a great grappler, but man, it's going to be extremely tough to take Kaio down. And if he takes him down, he's not keeping him down there. Like Kaio's going to get up. Kaio has a black belt in BJJ. This guy trained with Damian Maia, I think, for 7 years, guys. Yep. Like, what's Gadziev going to do to him on the ground that he hasn't seen from Damian Maia, right? He's nothing. Like, maybe he has some ground and pound. Okay. But honestly, Gadziev has literally fought nobody. Even the fight in Contender Series, like he fought this guy, Janzi Silva, that I taped big time. Like this guy was fighting absolute cans on the regional scene in Brazil, and the other guys he's fought, the guy's 7-0, but like, who has that guy beat? So it's like this guy, there's a lot of questions with him. He hasn't fought a lot, he's still 29 and they have him listed at 6'1" and Kaio Bahayo at 5'10", and go look at him at faceoffs. Like Bahayo is the much bigger guy. Like there's no way Kaio is 5'10". He's at least 6'2", maybe 6'3" if this guy's 6'1". So like the size difference is big, and Kaio's a big dude. And just the teep kicks, the way he strikes, he is the much better striker here. And even if it gets to the ground, like I don't think Gadzi is overwhelming this guy on the ground. So to me, I really like Bahayo by decision here. The guy just fights smart. The thing is, Lou, he's a smart fighter. Okay.
I know.
He wants to win. His main thing is to get W's. And he knows that, keeping this on the feet, he doesn't overthrow. He doesn't throw huge power shots. That's the thing with this guy. He doesn't want to be out of position against grapplers who can take him down. And that's what he did with Jeffrey. He was giving him pot shots. He was doing all that good stuff, but he was never overthrowing. He didn't want to be out of position to get taken down. And I think he's going to do the same thing here. For me, I think it's going to be a clear decision. So I'm not going to take unanimous. It's good enough for me at plus. You can get plus 420 at Caesars. So for me, it's Kaio by decision plus 420. This guy's a prospect. I really like his game. I think he's going to be in the top 15 in probably a year and a half.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think being a fight nerd and having a neck tattoo, are they mutually exclusive things?
Yeah, they are mutually exclusive.
Because it's weird that you're like both. It's to me, it's like if I had a Venn diagram, it's very
one
strange.
Happened before the other. So
okay, that's fair.
But we will move on. Wait, Tim, did you do it? Yeah, you started it off. Yep. Okay. We will move on. But before we move on, I want to thank everybody in chat. There's 29 of you. Thank you very, very much. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button below. Hit the subscribe button. I kind of deserve it. My co-host over here kind of deserves it. We're giving you huge freaking winners every week. It's been a great 2022, to be honest. We've hit some huge plays. And I also do want to thank both my guests. Thank you, Lou and Uncle Weezy, very much for being on the show, making it a great show. And with that being said, we will move on to the main event. It is Vicente Luque going up against Bilal Muhammad, and this is the second go around. Uncle Weezy, you can kick this one off.
All right, you guys. So, right now on FanDuel, Luque inside the distance is boosted to plus 140. I'm going to be betting that. But what I actually think is going to happen in this fight is I think Bilal Muhammad is going to win this fight. And here's why. For some reason, you see some of these guys have these long UFC careers, and they're really good at one thing, and they show a little bit of a deficiency somewhere else. But for some reason, they wind up lucky enough to never have that deficiency tested. Vicente Luque is one of those people. He's got 17 fights in the UFC. He has, you know how many fights Vicente Luque has faced more than 2 takedown attempts in his 17 fights? Take a guess. Anyone? 3 times.
Wow.
3 times. 3 fucking times, dude. That's less than 20% of his fights where somebody has decided to wrestle at all, okay? He's 1-2 in those 3 fights, and the one fight that he won was against Nico Price, and Nico Price was winning that fight, and he got knocked out late in the 3rd round. I also want to remind you that Nico Price has like a 22% takedown accuracy over his career, and he was taking down Vicente Luque. You talked about Caio Bahaio's fight IQ. We got 2 guys on this card with ridiculously good fight IQ. It's Bahaio and it's Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad is as smart as it gets. He is not going to fight Vicente Luque's fight. Plain and simple. He's going to go out there. He's going to grapple this dude. He's very good at it. I think he could even break him late, potentially, you guys, because he's never seen this style. Not since the Michael Graves fight, which was his debut, which he lost, in the UFC, have we seen somebody even incorporate a semi-heavy game plan full of wrestling. Nico Price kind of did, I think 3 or 4 takedown attempts. Leon Edwards, I think maybe had 5. Nobody else more than 2. So I think Bilal is going to work hard. I think he's going to win a decision here. Bilal Muhammad by unanimous decision is plus 330 right now. I think Bilal Muhammad is going to win this fight, and Bilal Muhammad round 5 is plus 4,500. You guys, let's go.
All right, Uncle Weezy all over Bilal Muhammad. Lou, what do you got?
I'm going to respectfully disagree with my my friend over here. I will counter with, let's look at the strikers that Bilal Muhammad has faced in the last few years. Wonder Boy looks old all of a sudden. I mean, okay, that's like heartbreaking, but he didn't look like he'd stop a takedown. He faced Leon Edwards. I am no fan of Leon Edwards. Edwards, they didn't need to see any more than what they saw. Edwards was owning him. The last real striker he fought was Jeff Neely, lost decision. So Muhammad hasn't, you're talking about Luque hasn't faced guys that get takedowns, which is fair. But Muhammad hasn't faced strikers. And Luque is a dangerous, dangerous man. And do I think it'll be a first-minute knockout? No. Luque's comfortable going to the ground, and I don't think Muhammad's going to inflict a lot of damage, but it's only a matter of time. And Luque could trap him in a choke on the ground, get a Darce, or he could just crack him. I think in that Nico Price fight he showed, he doesn't care if it's the 3rd round. Like, he comes out, he's like, all right, let's go. So I have Luque round 3, round 4 at plus 600 on DraftKings. I think it maybe there'll be a little bit of feeling out, but I think Luque is just a matter of time before he gets him. And it could be on the feet, it could be on the ground. I don't think it matters to him. I think he'd rather punch him in the face.
What are the odds on that?
I have at DraftKings, it's plus 600 for round 3, round 4. No win condition, just round 3, round 4.
All right. Round 3, round 4 for Luque. I am going to respectfully disagree also. I'm going to be on the Uncle Weezy side. Here's the thing. I know you said he hasn't faced good strikers. Curtis Melander is a striker. Takashi Soto is a striker. Lyman Good is a striker.
He lost that fight.
Well, I'm just mentioning the strikers that Lyman Good hits very, very hard. Jeff Neal hits hard. I'm not saying that Luque can't knock this guy out because Luque has a ton of power. What I do agree is Uncle Weezy mentioned it. This guy has not faced guys that grapple him. Let me ask you this. How does he look in round 3 against Nico Price? Do you tell me he looks good in that fight in round 3? Like, he's tired in a fight that's just strictly grappling for them. I mean, for striking for the most part. What happens when Belal Muhammad is constantly going for these takedowns? I mean, you're going to get tired. It's a different fight. I mean, if he doesn't catch him early, I think he's not going to be good in round 3, round 4, round 5. I think he's going to be in deep trouble. And the one thing we saw with Muhammad, yeah, he doesn't have a lot of stoppages, but what did we see in his last fight? You know, everybody wants to say, oh, well, Stephen Thompson looked old. Stephen Thompson couldn't defend takedowns. Well, how all of a sudden Stephen Thompson cannot defend takedowns, 5 months later, all of a sudden this guy cannot defend takedowns, but he was defending them a bit against Gilbert Burns pretty good. And then now all of a sudden he can't defend them at all against Belal Muhammad 5 months later. No, man, I think that's a testament to Belal Muhammad. His wrestling is really good. The way he sets up those takedowns are really good, and he's relentless. The guy has an insane gas tank, and, fight IQ is there. Like, Uncle Weezy mentioned it. Like, this guy has very, very high fight IQ. He knows what he needs to do to win. And to be honest, Vicente Luque's fight IQ is not very good. Like, this guy's getting cracked left and right on the feet. His takedown defense is probably god-awful, I would call it. Like, he gets taken down pretty easy. If it wasn't for a huge mistake in his last, against Chiesa probably drowns this guy. But Chiesa decided to do a stupid thing, gets reversed, and eventually he gets subbed. But, he was very close to getting tapped out in that Chiesa fight. Like, he had it pretty deep on him and somehow got out of it, and eventually he got the sub. But it's a different fight here. Belal Muhammad is relentless. I think Belal Muhammad late round props are extremely good here. Muhammad round 4 plus 3,500. Muhammad round 5 plus 4,200. I love those plays. We saw, Stephen Thompson is extremely durable. And how close was that fight to getting stopped? I mean, the referee could honestly stop that fight. I mean, he was getting absolutely blasted in that fight. So I see the same thing here, but I see a worse gas tank here than Stephen Thompson. So, and I see a guy with worse takedown defense. So give me Belal Muhammad, round 4, round 5. I also like him. I played him at plus 160, and he's getting juiced right now. I mean, the line's going down. He's plus 140, plus 150 round. So yeah, Tim, I know you differ on this, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on the loose side on this one. I think that it's just, I don't know. I don't rate these last few wins of Belal's really that high. I think unfortunately, I think Wonder Boy is dust. The last 2 fights, and yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that the last. I usually when you see situations in fights where people, there's a repeat in this, the second, part due. You don't see the same exact fight, and the only thing about it is like the punch. When you see the stanky leg from the punch that he hit, I mean, just a little check hook, and you're like, oh, dude, he killed him in that, and then he goes in for the ground and pound. Like the thing that I keep seeing in my mind is I keep seeing like, okay, it doesn't take that much. His power is that powerful to knock him out. I think he's in better shape than he's been the last few fights. I don't think he's got great cardio, but I think he's in better shape. I like the Luque by sub in this situation because I think that I don't mind KO 1 through 3 plus 350 or the sub at plus 380. Those would be the 2 ways that I would play this. They're both Lambos. I have already bet Luque inside the distance, and I do think that if it happens, it's going to happen. Where I do agree with Narco and Weezy is like I do think this happens. It's round 1 through 3. You're going to probably have a really good live line on Belal in the middle of like round 2 or beginning of round 2 if you wanted to hit that. And again, like the lines are so crazy on those round 4, round 5 that like, of course I'll take hedges on those and just take some chances because my hedge might win me more money, like Aljo by split last week. So at 28-1. So you might as well just take a shot on those. I don't mind anybody that's doing that. So I just think that he does get him out in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I mean, if you're playing Luque, I like him early. I just think the later this fight goes, the worse shape he's going to be in. So, yeah, we got 2 on the Luque side and me and Uncle Weezy on the Muhammad side. We will see. It should be an interesting fight. But, yeah, guys, thank you very much. Again, I'm going to thank the chat. Thank you very, very much. Please tell your friends. Please tell your family. Subscribe to my channel. Every little bit helps. And I also want to thank my co-host, Tim. As always, thank you very much. I will give off the floor to you before. And I actually, no. Mushroom's going to kill us. We have to give the Lambo parlays. Tim, kick off your Lambo parlay for Mushroom.
All right, let's go. Pat Sabatini by submission. Marabuena Silva by submission. Luque inside the distance. Baeza money line. And Nunez by points is 66-1.
All right. Wait, what was your second one?
Buena Silva by submission. Sabatini by sub. Buena Silva by sub. Luque inside the distance. Baeza money line. And Nunez by points.
All right. I got it. I always play these. You know that.
Absolutely.
Uncle Weezy, give us your Lambo parlay.
All right. So here's what I got. A 5-legger, all plus money for plus 129,932. So we got Kianzad inside the distance, plus 330. This is on FanDuel, by the way. Croom by decision, plus 300. Loosa by decision, because you guys talked me into it, plus 380. Ohio by decision, plus 350. Muhammad by decision, plus 250. I believe $10 wins you something like 12,932 or something like that.
Awesome. I like it, Uncle Weezy. I am playing that. Lou, give us your yacht play, not your Lambo play.
All right. Well, I modified it a little bit, during this. So I got one that's 174-1. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Plus 17,000 for it. 3-teamer.
Go for it.
Sabatini round 1 sub. Baeza round 2 KO. And Loosa decision. Is 174-1 for a 3-teamer.
All right. Loosa decision.
What was that third one? You got Baeza round and then Loosa decision?
And Baeza round 2 KO.
Okay.
For me, it's going to be kind of simple. It is going to be Buday submission plus 550, Loosa decision at plus 380, and Ohio decision plus 360. That thing is going to pay you $100, pays 13,940. Let's effing go. But yeah, guys, that's a wrap. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, everybody in chat. I will kick it off to Tim. Tell them where they can find you and what you have going in your spaces.
Yeah, we got spaces again tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to be breaking down the prelims like we do usually with Tajik and Sean Orr, and we do those on Wednesdays as well. This last Wednesday we had Mateus Nicolau. It was awesome. Then on here with you every Friday, man. I love this show. Favorite place to be.
Awesome. Love having you here, Tim. We are the dynamic duo here with the Lambo Plays. Uncle Weezy, tell them where they can find you. You have a whole bunch of stuff going on. And yeah, thank you very much. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure, man. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Uncle Weezy. You can find me on Pub Sports Radio every Sunday doing Stat Diggers and my man DFS by the Numbers, and every Wednesday doing the DFS show with DFS by the Numbers, Luke from Sparring with Reality Betting, my guy Monk. And you can also find me on the new MMA Engine YouTube channel. Me and my guy Lou Bet Ya, DFS by the Numbers, Monk Maddox. We're doing work over there on the MMA Engine YouTube channel. Got a brand new show called Probability that you absolutely have to check out if you want to look at a data-driven way to look at these over-under lines and these fight goes and fight doesn't go to decision lines. You guys, thanks for hanging out on a Friday night with us, man, and let's stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC Vegas 51.
That is my ultimate favorite line there. Uncle Weezy, thank you very much, guys. Go follow him. Go to his YouTube channel, subscribe, and they got a lot of things going at the MMA Engine, along with Brady and DFS by the numbers. Lou, where can they find you? What do you have going?
I'll be at the Parsippany Laugh Shack on Sunday night doing stand-up comedy. No, sorry, man. Yeah, everything Weezy said about the MMA Engine, like, I mean, follow my Twitter. That's cool. This is the show I always wanted to do. So, like, I'm kind of, it's like I almost don't care at this point. Like, this is literally the one show I wanted to do. So I just want to thank you guys, like, for allowing me on here with my own brand of madness. Like, I appreciate it. MMA Engine, man, like, look, we have, like, real talented guys like Weezy, Brady, and Monk. And then we have me, who's, like, the computer programmer they let on camera. And, like, I'm grateful for it. But, like, I care about the technology that we're building. I'm super proud of it. I've been programming for over 20 years. I've never been prouder of an application that I'm building right now and what people are going to get out of it. It's only going to evolve. Like, the stuff Weezy's doing is, like, goddamn genius. And I get to, like, just take his genius and, like, make it a robot, which is pretty cool. So please follow us. We got product updates. First week of May is the target. Like, it's a lot of complicated stuff. We're getting the servers upgraded to make sure that everything is fast. So that's all I got. Like, follow Weezy and he will tell you, like, to find me.
Awesome.
He's my shield. He's the shield. Sorry. He's the shield.
Awesome stuff. Go check out that MMA Engine. I know a lot of big things coming. I took a little
I'm not
peek.
David Tell.
I love all the stuff you guys are doing. It's great stuff. I appreciate it. And yeah, Uncle Weezy with all the stats. It's awesome stuff. Guys, you can follow me at NarcoCop on Twitter. I am sometimes in the spaces with Tim and Sean, or they have great spaces on Wednesday and Saturday. This past Wednesday, they had Matthias Nicolau from the UFC. It was an awesome time. You get to ask him some questions. And yeah, pretty much that's about it, guys. Let's cast some tickets tomorrow. Take care and good luck, everybody.